There was a little bit of oxidization happening.
What the hell did you just say?
There was some oxidation.
Oxidation.
Oxidation. Oxidation. I'm gonna cut right here because there was some oxidation happening. What did I say? It was hard. It was hard and it was gonna taste bad. That's what you need to know. Before trimming it, I let it sit in the freezer for about a half hour. It makes it easier to cut. It hardens, makes it a lot easier. The fat isn't as waxy and slippery. So the first thing I'm going to do is looking at it, trying to cut off anything that's not going to cook the way I want it to. This piece right here is probably going to burn, especially this. So I'm just going to try to smooth it out, make it somewhat aerodynamic. Start with that. Also, this fat right here, this is not going to render. This deckle, this isn't going to render, and it's not going to taste good. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. And I'm going to start right here and just kind of go down. You can see that oxidation has set in right here. You can still eat that, you don't have to. I'm not gonna eat it, I'm gonna cut it off because it looks nasty. Looks like people when they don't take care of their feet. And they'll be the main people wearing flip-flops. And I'm still trying to keep the form of the brisket. This is a prime brisket. It's gonna have a lot of marbling in there, which you can see right there. And I'm still gonna come back and try to get more of this deckle off. That deckle is in between the flat and the point. Those two muscles. There, you can really see the marbling in there. So that's the reason why the point has so much more flavor and is so much more juicy than the flat on most briskets. You see just how much fat is in there. And that layer, I'm still gonna try to get more of that. Look at that. That fat's not gonna render. That's just gonna be nasty. And people are going to talk about you behind your back because your brisket tasted like grease. So after you start getting to the good fat, you'll notice that the texture is going to change. It's not going to feel as hard. This hard fat feels like a brick almost, like a cold, greasy brick. Once you get into the good fat, you'll start noticing it. It's kind of like fluffy almost. It's much lighter. That's going to be the fat that's going to render down and help your brisket taste good. This right here, you can get rid of it. I'm not worried about it because over this was like a 16, 17 pound brisket. So this is going to have a long cook, at least a 12-hour cook, probably longer than that. This is going to render down. And I'm not worried. It's going to render. It's also going to help keep it moist, keep it juicy. So I'm not worried about that. If you want to cut that off, feel free. I'm not going to. So I have that. And these edges right here, you want your brisket to be smooth. Everything to be uniform, smooth, aerodynamic. So I'm just going to try to cut these edges off. and kind of round it out a little bit. It would help if you had a knife that was better than mine, but this is all we got. Making it work. Making it smooth is just going to help it cook better. It's going to make it more aerodynamic. It's going to allow the smoke to travel over it better, not get caught up in one spot. Then I'm going to come here, and anything that just doesn't look appealing, I'm going to cut it off. And I'll start right here and try to trim some of this fat, not all the fat, because that layer of fat on the point is going to protect the meat. It's going to protect it from drying out and possibly burning. But I do want to cut some of it off, just not all of it. Now I'm going to flip it over and take a look at this fat right here, this crease. That is thick. You don't need all that. Don't need all that fat in your life. Or this. This is just going to burn off. And again, this is the point, this is the flat. When the butcher used that bone saw, you can tell they got a little too close right there. So I'll definitely have to keep an eye on that during the cook. It also allows me to see just how much fat is on the flat right here. And I'm actually okay with that. I am going to trim this. As you see how thin this is, I'm going to actually do that right now. I'm just going to cut this off. And then I'm going to come back. See, like that's thin. That's nice right there, but that's thin. That's just going to burn. Probably just round it out just a little bit. Keep it aerodynamic. Now I'm going to come back to this thick layer right here. Camera lady, if you can check this out, see how thick that is? That's not going to render. So I'm going to get rid of most of that. Not all of it, but most. And you can see that layer behind that softer layer of fat right there. That's the good fat. So I'm okay with that. And I just kind of use this and I peel it back, pretty much guiding it, trying to keep the same form, the brisket's natural form, as much as I can. I'm going to come right here and I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to be careful. Take a look, see if I cut too deep. I did not. And I'll peel in some of that back. Peeling that back. I kind of nicked it right here, but I just left this fat right here. I'm going to, during the cook, I'll just press it down. And also, take a look at the difference in textures. This really fluffy, almost like a cotton candy almost, and this hard. So you're getting rid of all that hard fat that's not going to render. And it's just going to be nasty, greasy. Okay, so this is what the final product looked like. Before I seasoned it, I went ahead and cut a little bit more of the deckle, smoothed it out a little bit, made sure it was nice and aerodynamic. Went ahead and seasoned it up with kosher salt, coarse pepper, and a little bit of paprika. And I'll go ahead and throw that on the smoker probably about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. I hope you were able to get something out of this, especially if you've never trimmed a brisket before. And once again, thanks for watching Veterans and Smoke Rings. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. Once again, thanks for watching.